Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stitches and Scribbles channel. My name is Erin and I have another tutorial for you today for this crocheted washcloth. This is crocheted in the moss stitch or linen stitch. It goes by a couple different names and I didn't notice until I held it up on camera, but there's some cool like color pooling kind of happening with this yarn. This is a really simple crochet stitch that really adds a lot of pop to a variegated yarn. So if you are a crochet beginner, you can definitely tackle this as one of your first few projects. In order to complete this, the only stitches that you need to know how to do are chain stitches and single crochets, and I will be showing you how to do both of them along the way. So without further ado, let's dive into the pattern. To make your crocheted washcloth, you're going to need a couple of materials. The first is your yarn. I'm using the Lily Sugar and Cream in the color Crown Jewels Ombre, but you can use whatever color you want. You're also going to need a crochet hook. I'm using a 5mm because that's what it recommends on the yarn label. You're also going to need a pair of scissors for when it's time to bind off, as well as a yarn needle for weaving in ends. To start our washcloth, you're going to need to do a slip knot and leave a little bit of a tail before your slip knot so that you have enough yarn to weave in your ends. And then you're just going to slide that slip knot onto your crochet hook. I'm going to be doing an even number of stitches today, so I'm just going to chain until it looks like about the width I want. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, check our width, not quite long enough, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That looks more like the width that I want. I'm going to do one extra stitch to be my turning chain, so technically 31 chains to start, and then I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from my hook. For our stitch pattern, we're going to be alternating between single crochets and slip stitches or chain stitches. So my next, not slip stitches, we're going to be using chain stitches. My next stitch is going to be a chain 1. Then I'm going to skip the next chain and do a single crochet in the second chain from my hook. Then I'm going to chain stitch again, skip 1, and single crochet. You're going to continue this pattern of chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet along the length of the chain that you started with. And this first row is going to look a little funky just because first rows of crochet almost always look a little bit funky with the chain stitch start. We're just going to continue on. Make sure you've got enough yarn pulled out so that you can keep working, unlike what I just did. Alright, you should get to a point where you're ending with one more chain than stitches you have. So we're going to end with a single crochet in that final chain space. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work and do a single crochet right in that first stitch. We're always going to start rows with a single crochet in order to give us a little bit of a foundation at the edge. Now you'll notice my next stitch is a single crochet. We're going to skip that single crochet and do a chain 1 and place our next single crochet in that little gap that was formed by the chain stitch in the previous row. So we're going to chain 1, skip our single crochet, and then single crochet in the chain 1 space. You're going to continue that all the way down. This is going to give you an effect in your crochet stitches where it looks almost like it's woven, because of how the rows of stitches interlock with each other. And I find this stitch looks particularly cool with a multicolored yarn because it really makes those stitches pop. Keep going to the end. You'll notice that with that last chain space that you single crocheted into, there's one more single crochet. So just like at the beginning of the row, we're going to end with a single crochet on top of a single crochet. I'll do one more row with you so that you can see the stitch pattern. So we're going to chain one and turn, single crochet in that first single crochet, skip our next single crochet with a chain one, and single crochet in the chain space. Then you can kind of get back into your pattern again where you're chaining one and single crocheting in that chain one space. Gotta pull out some more yarn. This is a stitch that eventually becomes really fast because it's easy to work your single crochets into those chain spaces almost without looking, because you can kind of feel it more than you can feel where the stitches are placed in normal single crochet. Then again at the end of the row we have one more single crochet, so we're just going to single crochet right into it. You're going to continue this stitch pattern until you get a square piece of fabric, but I'll check in about halfway through and show you what your stitches should be looking like. This is what it starts to look like when you work up the stitch pattern. You can see I'm already about halfway done, and this is a pretty fast stitch to work up, I think, including the time I spent on the part you saw on camera, which was under 10 minutes. I think in total I've been working on this for about 30 minutes now, so this is definitely a project that you can finish in an hour or two. Especially if you're a more experienced crocheter, but I love how these stitches look with the variegated yarn. You can really see them all kind of pop out. It looks kind of woven, kind of mosaic-y, but very, very pretty stitch pattern, so let's keep working on it. Here's what it looks like when you've worked up the full square. It doesn't even completely show in camera for me. And because this is crochet, we don't actually have to do any sort of a bind off row unlike in knitting. So to finish your piece, just trim your yarn with enough length that you can weave in the ends and loop it through that final loop to finish it off. Then you can go ahead and weave in your ends and your little washcloth is done. And that's going to be it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed learning the moss stitch, linen stitch, whatever you want to call it. I've definitely seen it called both things in different places, but I hope you enjoy your new little washcloth, or if you're gifting it to somebody, I hope that they get use out of it too. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you're interested in more videos here on YouTube from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I post podcasts, tutorials, vlogs, and just all sorts of stuff depending on what I'm doing. And if you want to follow me on other social media sites, that information will be in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.